a few minutes past here. I'm going to set a few of the ground rules and welcome everybody to the CFL Town Hall. It's going to be a quick 45-minute webinar session tonight. We ask you use the Q&A button to ask all of your questions, but please wait till we're covering that topic. So when we're covering that topic, you can go ahead and ask your question on that topic, and we'll either respond via written response or answer live. And if we don't have any time, we will actually send you an email afterwards. Something new on this one, I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll that you can take whenever you like. You can go ahead and minimize it. You can put it aside, but it just asks some questions, and we'll go ahead and we'll share some results of the poll when we are done with the session today. Again, 45 minutes. And with that, I'm going to throw it over to Jamie to kick us off.
Thanks, Tim. And welcome, everybody. I definitely appreciate spending the time, taking the time to be a part of this, as well as to our panelists. And I know we've had a few of these. The main goal here is just to be informative. We get a lot of questions, which is a good thing. All of this is new, so we expect there to be a lot of questions. We welcome the questions as well. I think all the questions we get have helped us just make sure that we've got everything right. So from an alliance level and a league level, we're going to go through a lot of some of the frequently asked questions, but also want this to be a discussion as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So here's kind of an overview of the agenda. And as Tim mentioned, we know you guys have questions. We ask that when we get to that particular topic, that's when you submit your questions so we can address them there. We'll make sure we introduce everybody. I'm going to talk more about what is the Alliance, as well as the membership benefits that come with that. Tim is going to speak a lot on the registration process. We have Christina here from USA Softball to talk about the insurance, as well as their benefits. And then we're going to toss it over to the CFL leadership and get more into the details of points, schedules, how things are going to be maybe a little bit different in California, some different scenarios there. And then we will get into postseason play. So with that, I'm Jamie Loprice. I'm the executive director for the Alliance Fast Pitch. We've got a couple on here that are going to do double duty. So I'll introduce Tim Gorman, who's the finance director for the Alliance Fast Pitch, but obviously is the league administrator for the CFL as well. And Travis Katzenmoyer, who's helping the national event side from the Alliance, and is obviously also heavily involved with the CFL. So I will toss it over to Mike if you want to introduce the CFL.
I'm on, and thanks, Jamie. And thanks, everybody, for getting on tonight. And I'll try to keep this quick because it's noisy where I'm at. But I want to go through this and make sure everybody, we need your questions. It really helps us, as Jamie said, move along and get through this. And there's some very exciting points we want to go over tonight. I know Christina Drum is on the call with us. So we want to make sure we have enough time to touch all this, but I'm honored to be in this position and to be able to have everybody on. And I'll hand it down to Tony and let Tony handle some of this stuff because you guys want to mute me. I'm a little noisy here.
Hey everyone, thanks for being on the call tonight. I'm Tony Rico with the Firecrackers, Deputy Commissioner of the CFL. And again, we're getting closer and closer, but I want to thank all of you because we had some really good numbers pour through as far as registrations goes with teams and players and everything else. So just that we know that you're ready to go, and it might sound funny, but we are ready to serve you and kind of put things together. So we're getting excited about whatever we can do to make your lives better.
I'm Championship and Communications Director, also part of Firecrackers. So again, thanks everybody, as everyone's stating, joining tonight, and hopefully we can answer as many questions as possible for you guys as we get into the new year. Brian?
Sorry guys, I'm on the road. So Brian Tidd, Athletics Mercado, Director of Analytics and Data for the CFL. So thank you all for joining, and look forward to connecting with all you guys soon.
And I'll speak on behalf of Dave Mercado. I think he is in the cage right now, but is listening in is a big part of this. And then I think we have Don.
Yeah, I'll introduce Don. Sure, absolutely. So our chief advisor is Don Menard. You see him on the call. And again, everybody needs a patriarch, somebody that's wiser than all. And so the experience that Don brings to the table, again, he's just always been about the experience for players and coaches and teams. So we appreciate him being on, looking over us and giving us good advice.
Absolutely. And it's good to see you there, Don. I'm going to jump right on into just what is the Alliance. I put a lot of words on here for you guys, but overall, what this is, it's that organization. It's the overarching unifying body, if you will, that's bringing the leagues together, and really is going to do a lot more. And so what the Alliance does is provides the oversight and the guidance for all the member leagues, and which is the California League, as well as the 5 other logos that you see down there. And really, it's our goal, as you see here, to drive this athlete-centric programming and development. You're going to hear a lot of us talk about just leading with the athlete in mind. And that's going to go on all levels. So really, it is our goal about this purposeful play. We get the question a lot here on the bottom, is this a sanctioning body? Is this an event company? And the answer is no. And I think it's important to address, because you're going to see a lot of names on here with different associations, with different event companies. And that is the goal here, to work a little bit with everybody. So the Alliance Fast Pitch is not a governing body, and it is not an event company. And actually, specifically in our operating agreement, it does state that. So I like to look at this kind of our 4 pillars of who we are. The enhanced competition aspect, which you'll hear a lot of, meaningful games. So when we talk about putting stats and standings and point systems to events, on field development of our athletes, but it's also that athlete and coach development off the field. You're going to see a couple videos that just give you a quick glimpse of that, and just what we can provide when we all come together from an athlete and coach level. And then the systematic identification of athletes, that's going to be done a few ways through our partnerships, but also recognizing top performers, top athletes, and then collaboration. Unity is a big piece of this. And for the first time, you're seeing, and you can see it on a lot of the logos here from our panelists, of people working together. And from my seat, I get to do this all across the country. So it's really fun. And it's been incredible to see all the different brands, all the different coaches, all the different associations. I get daily calls from former athletes who want to be a part of this. And that's what's exciting, is that once we start here at the Alliance level and build this foundation with all the member leagues, the opportunities are endless here. So you're going to hear the term member leagues. The California Fast Pitch League is one of those member leagues. And on the bottom here, you can see the Texas Fast Pitch, the Southeastern, the Rocky Mountain, the Northeastern, and the Heart of America. Those are currently our member leagues that all work together. Some of these don't exactly look alike, but there's been collaboration, sharing of information. Texas got to go through an entire process this summer and work out some of the kinks for us, so we appreciate that. But collaboration in regards to stats, point systems, interleague play that we're going to talk about, I think that'll affect you guys quite a bit here early on, until you guys can get back out on the field, postseason play, and then any time that we can add volume, we can deliver more value. And we can do it at a lower cost for the families, which is incredibly important here. So getting into kind of the logistics and operations of how the heck this all works, hopefully many of you have already gone through this process. This is new for all of us. So we want to talk through that, especially for anybody who hasn't. So I'm going to toss it back over to Tim, who handles this as your league administrator on the California side.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have the pleasure of saying that we have had a tidal wave of registrations. Since we launched 2 weeks ago, over 4,400 active members, over 700 coaches. California is actually leading the registrations in the number of players that have signed up, second only to Texas in the number of teams that have signed up. It's really, really amazing, the groundswell that's going on out there. Just today, there's been 501. I keep looking over my shoulder because I keep hitting refresh. Every time I do, there's a new member. But as of right now, 501 new members just today. And it's really been an amazing thing. How do you register? The California teams have been doing great. It really starts with a coach or the admin to register for that member league. The California fee is $100. That's a one-time fee that goes directly to the California League. The coach or admin then sends an invite to the other coaches and then to the players' parents. Okay, it's very important. That's the key to everything, that the players' parents get the initial invite. From a legality perspective, it's the parents that sign up the players. We can't solicit them directly. So if you are having issues with signing up, of which there has been less than 1%, it's been amazingly smooth. But the issues that are out there are the players that try to join up directly and then get into a little bit of a quagmire there. If there are issues with sign up, your league administrator is me. So those questions will come to me, and I'll help you through that process. Coaches are $50 per coach. We'll talk about what that entails: insurance, safe sport, background checks, and then for the athletes, it's $45 per athlete, again with insurance and a host of other benefits that we're going to talk about. We'll also talk about, we've got Christina here from USA to talk about some of the insurance and things that are going on. In terms of the background checks on the next page here, I know that there has been a lot of conversation around, oh, actually, no, I skipped ahead. So yeah, there's been a lot of conversation around where are we at with the 4,000 people that have coming on. If USA has not reached out to you, they will, trust me. And you are all covered right now as you started up. But I'm gonna stop there and let it kind of go back through the flow. And then when it gets back to the insurance, then Christina will come on and talk to us a little bit more about how we're partnering with USA Softball and what that means for everybody. There you go.
I'm going to touch on Tim's point of that athlete membership and what all that entails. And the insurance is a big part that we'll talk about here in a sec. That'll cover the kids at practice and play. Also the national team program. And I don't want to steal all USA's thunder here, but I think this is really important as we're continuing to grow our youth national team programs, as well as our overall national team too, and just what that does for the development of our game. I put this in italics with Major League Baseball offering the free MLB TV and app subscription that has passed, but I think it's important to just show the partnership there with Major League Baseball, and hopefully, and that should continue to grow. So, and then discounted opportunities. We are in the process of creating a youth athlete advisory council where we're going to empower the voices and the leadership of our athletes off the field, as well as the ability to be selected at the end of the year for our awards. But I want to go back to this digital learning. This is something I get fired up about. I think is really important. A lot of your athletes, they're going to hitting lessons, they're going to fielding lessons, but to truly develop that athlete and that young woman into a leader on and off the field and what they're really going to experience at college. I am a former player myself, and we've got a lot of former players who have stepped up and want to give back. So we've identified certain categories. We were actually out in California a few weeks ago filming, and I just want to show you guys a quick teaser of what these benefits are going to look like.
I was going to be a nurse, and then I was going to be a teacher, and now I'm a coach. So, I mean, I feel like kids at 14 don't really know what they like. Social media can kind of make or break you, and that was something we had always been taught. Find that somebody who you identify with and start to model your life like that. I don't think you have to put this pressure on you and that I can only post that it's my brand, but be smart and understand that people are going to see it, especially you being recruited. Obviously, brand is very important. I think social media is a reflection of how you want to be seen, of how you want to be judged, of how you want to perceive to your teammates and to your fans and to your coaches and who you represent. So use it in a way that you want to be seen and known as. Player development. We're not just about making these girls great softball players. I want to make sure they're great people.
I love ending on that quote right there too, right? I think Amber nails it. But just a sneak peek, and that's the idea, is we have all these voices and these minds. It's pretty cool because those are all former California players, so you guys probably recognize those names a lot better than some of the other parts of the country. But that is the idea there, to continue to give back. We talked too about the evolution of travel ball with a lot of those players as well, which was a lot of fun to hear those stories. So that'll continue to grow. The coach side, we have almost 800 coaches now who are registered. What I think is really cool about this is that you guys are youth softball coaches. You know, it's great when you go and you listen to some of these college coaches, and I think they have great instruction, but they're not used to working with 12-year-olds. You know, they're not trying to get a team of 13 or 14-year-olds to run a first and third. So we have all of these coaches, all of these minds. I'm going to show you guys a panel. You're going to recognize some of those faces, but it was over 100 years of experience of coaching youth softball. And that's just from 4 people. Now we have 800 minds, and it's going to continue to grow. So I think this is a huge opportunity to continue to elevate our coaches and to share knowledge and to continue to collaborate, as well as you're going to get all the other perks there of background checks and insurance as well. But I'm just going to show you guys, this might surprise you, of how peaceful all 4 of these coaches were sitting together.
Follow and absorb has really helped the way. And the fact that we're sitting here communicating with each other, you know, and willing to share this information that we all took years gathering, I think is really truly something special. I'm excited to really be a part of it. I think it's going to benefit our game in so many ways. It's just, yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Dave. I just wanted to hear your voice again. It was so good. But that's just a little sneak peek. Again, it was pretty powerful. We got all those coaches in the cage as well and started talking. But Tony, if you want to elaborate even more on what the coach membership is, that'd be great.
Yeah. So even a situation like that, right? How about the concept of no more arguing styles and saying why this person's better than that person or this or that? How about just sharing recipes? I mean, the time that we've spent together, to be honest with you, the first time we all got in a room, we didn't know it was going to happen. A fight might've broke out, right? Because we're all competitors and you didn't know, but it's actually been so awesome to get to know people. And that's the experience that we want for all of you as well. So sharing recipes, and then I don't know, is that something that you want? Do you want to know? Because I don't think that there's when Jamie talks about digital learning, a specific market to train our coaches down at our levels to really help you enable your teams. So these are things that we are looking at, and we understand that the burden of responsibility falls on us to earn your trust. Because again, you know, now all of a sudden you're out there, your kids are out there with stats and everything else. And you know, if we're about the wrong things, we're just going to take your players, right? So that burden of responsibility is on us to show you that, no, we really want to show you that we're going to open up the road to our success, and we want you to have your success. So anything that we can do, and it starts with just good, inspiring dialogue. So it's been great to be a part of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony. And to continue on just of what all you get, and I think the value is super important. I harp a lot on the digital resources because I know what we're going to do there. But this one's also important. So Tim, I'm going to throw it over to you first to introduce the insurance, and then we can toss it to Christina.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a huge aspect and probably one of the top 3 questions that we get. And as you see later on, the Alliance is truly a unification of many different bodies that are here. So I'm pleased to introduce Christina Drum from USA Softball, Commissioner of Southern California, that's going to talk to us about the insurance and some other really exciting things that are going to come up later on. Christina?
Perfect. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. So first of all, USA Softball is excited to work with the travel ball community throughout the entire nation. So as far as the insurance, you guys saw the individual and coaches insurance. The 500 coaches that registered today. Please know that will get uploaded this week. We upload once a week, so you will get a welcome email from USA Softball. Please be patient with us with the foot traffic that's going through. So that's a very positive thing for both Alliance, CFL, and USA Softball. So when you do get that welcome email, you are going to be doing a background check, and you will also get information on how to do your Safe Sport. Safe Sport is kind of new. It is different sections, but ultimately you guys are invested in making a great, safe, healthy environment for your kids, and this kind of reinforces that. And it's good training. The other thing on the insurance, which we are definitely able to take care of, Christy Allen, which is the SoCal JO commissioner, is assisting CFL members. If you guys have any questions or concerns on any of your insurance permits, please get a hold of us. Even if we're in a transition period, we will make sure we have ways of taking care of you. So if we get 40 phone calls a day, we're going to figure out how to get 40 certificates out a day. So we want to make sure that you guys understand whatever specific needs you need on an insurer for a park. If there's specific things that need to be noted, please let us know so we can expedite that as quick as and effectively as possible to make sure you guys are taken care of. The other thing we do want to mention also with USA Softball is we know that you guys have given up national team players throughout the years. We actually have more opportunities with our national team program growing, which Jamie just alluded to. We are going to have regional events that we would like coaches and of course the athletes involved in. This is really going to be part of your program at the grassroots level. And we will have regional events, which will lead to national team events and selection. And that includes coaches and of course players. So you will be getting some more communication from us. It's the high performance program. Mike and I are involved in that. We definitely want to solicit the talent that we have in California, not only players, but the experience on our coaches to really continue to develop the kids and give them that experience and possibly represent USA Softball internationally. So I appreciate it. Please know our JO Commissioner, Christy Allen, is for you guys. If you guys need anything from me, please feel free to give us a call. We will take care of you guys as quick as we can. Appreciate it, Tim.
Perfect. And then the other questions we have around there is if you've already paid your USA insurance, we'll work it out. We've got resources that we'll figure a way to get a refund back or credit you before you even pay. There is an opportunity right now to get a discount if you have USA insurance or any other insurance that covers you for that same time period. So if you have those questions during that registration process, you can actually upload any insurance that you have. And if you have any questions on that, feel free to send me an email. I sent out a link today for everybody that that has signed up, just kind of explaining the process. There was supposed to be an attachment, but for some reason the system did not attach it. So we'll send that out tomorrow, which is a blanket coverage for the weekend. So we'll make sure that you are covered, you're signed up. It's a very special and unique insurance. Show up, pay your fee, and you're covered. So feel comfortable that you've got that behind you. Thank you, Christina.
Yes, thank you both on that. Now that covering all the Alliance side, I want to jump into more specifics from the CFL. So Travis, I'm actually going to turn it over to you. I know a lot of the questions we get are around points and events, and I know it might look a little bit different for you guys, so I'm going to toss it your way.
Yeah, I'm going to let Sean go over the point system. I don't know if you guys have the sheets that we sent you, either Tim or Jamie built in there, so we can give a visual. I'll talk quickly about the events. The events, obviously, Arizona is playing ball in most cities, but not all. Nevada is not playing, and neither are we in California. So we do have a list built, very basic right here. that we will continue to add and adjust. This is kind of just a basic idea of what you would see if we were able to play at this point. We do obviously plan on starting in 2021, having a complete another event list that these are the events that would be included in the CFL points and statistical tracking series or seasons. It's an open door. So my goal and one of my responsibilities is to make sure that we have the right events involved across those 3 states. It's a true collaboration. Right now you'll see events that are USA driven, that are Triple Crown driven, that are USSSA driven, and even hosted by teams. So anything relevant we want to have included in our series of events. And it is truly that, an open door. So everybody will be extended the opportunity as far as event directors go to make sure that they have that a part of it. We want these players to be able to be seen no matter where they're playing on any weekend. Again, like we said in the last call, we're not looking to create more events or anything like that. Just use the relevant ones that are there. So that will be posted on the website very soon, just so you guys can have that visual, the CFL website, to be able to see what the fall would look like in a normal case. And then I'll throw it over to Sean. If you were playing in any of these events, obviously stats and standings are a huge part of that, and Sean will cover that side of things. You're muted, Sean.
Everybody had their blessing. I was muted during that period of time. So we have, Tim, if you can put up the mock tournament that we sent over to you. And so what we did is we went back and pulled up an event from last year so we can give a little bit of a demo and a visual for everybody to see how the points would play out from an event. So this is also, the league point structure is up on the FAQ page on our website. 30% of your point total comes from pool play, 70% comes from your bracket play. So again, once we get this up real quick, I'll just kind of show you guys from the standings of a tournament that was ran in January. There we go. So what you guys are looking at right now is a finish of a tournament that was in January in 18 and under. So we kind of went through everybody's record, and we did points for a handful of teams. And within this demonstration here, Batbusters Bracamonte won this tournament. The record that you see is their pool play record. So your bracket play points aren't based on any record. They're based upon a finish. So going back real quick on the pool play portion, every team that's listed 1 through 29, that is their pool play record. And then with that, it has their pool play points. Your pool play points are based upon, and again, this is up on the FAQ page, are based upon the tier finish. So for example, Batbusters Bracamonte has 11 pool play points. And the way that that came to was 2 of their pool play wins were over teams in tier 1. So that got them 4 points in each win for a total of 8. And then 1 of their victories was over a tier 2 opponent. So if you add those together, that's your 11. So if you were to go down through all 29 teams, and obviously some teams didn't win a game, so they have 0. That's how those totals are come to. A tie is worth 1 point. A tier 3 team, which in this tournament, there weren't any teams that were tier 3. And I'll review this real quick as I get to it. Tier 2 is worth 3 and tier 1 is worth 4. Now with that, also understand that this is an ever-going ranking. So for example, Batbusters Bracamonte, 2 of those opponents are right now, because this would be considered as if, say this was the very first event of our calendar year. So this is the only thing that we have in our own standings. Those teams right now are currently in tier 1. Once week 2 happens or week 3 happens, those teams may drop to tier 2. When or if they do, it would change his total points as it would move forward. So all of these things are based upon an ongoing season, just as if you were playing in college softball and you guys might be familiar with RPIs or different ways of tracking. It's going to balance it out as to the entire season and a total body of work. So all these games will matter, and the pool play points could ultimately fluctuate again in regards to their tiers. So tier 1, 4 points, tier 2 is worth 3, tier 3 is worth 2, a tie is worth 1. And again, that's your pool play. On the bracket play, if you can bring that back up the screen, because I got to go through the bracket real quick, and I'll try to be, I know it's probably tough to understand.
Giving you the axe. I'll pull it back up.
Yeah. For me, this is like, I don't know why I like this stuff. So the bracket play, so again, up on the FAQ page, it gives you the bracket finishes. So if you take first place in the gold bracket, you receive 21 points. So as you see, Bracamonte has 21, and then it goes all the way down. So Strikeforce Jensen in this tournament won the silver bracket. So if you look at number 15, they have 11 points. All the teams that finished above that, 14-1, those are all teams that were in the gold portion of the tournament. So if you're finishing first in the silver, you are not rewarded with more points than a team that participated in the gold bracket of that tournament. So once you take these two totals, for example, we'll go back to Bracamonte. He had 21 points for winning the tournament. He had 11 points from his pool, 30% of 11, 70% of 21. And his total for this event right now for the calendar year, he'd be sitting at 18 points. Okay. Another example, if you go down to the 4th place spot, which is Cal Cruisers and Ohana Tigers in 5, if you look at their finishes, the Cruisers, and actually that didn't flip over, Travis, on what we sent them. So Cruisers actually were 2-0-1. We have them in the wrong 4 and 5 spots. So the Cruisers were technically 2-0-1 in pool. The Ohana team was 3-0. But the Cruiser team is ahead of them in total points because they had a better finish in bracket. So again, it's weighted. So a 3-0 team in pool play versus a 2-0-1 team in pool play, the 3-0 team is not going to finish ahead of the 2-0-1 team if that team does better in the bracket play. And again, that was supposed to be Cruisers in the 5 spot and Ohana in the 4 with their finishes. So again, you're always going to want to do better in your bracket. You're trying to win the tournament. Pool play is there. That's your record and your standing, and the bulk of your points are going to be earned through your bracket play. And again, this will continue throughout the season, and it'll update you to where you can go on the website on a weekly basis and be able to track where your team sits within the standings for the state. And it'll be able to monitor tier 1, tier 2, and then it'll calculate your points accordingly to be able to place you in the place, your finish, and where you're sitting in the state. And that's pretty much a caption on all that, Jamie. I'm sure everybody's more confused now than
Makes sense to me. Anything else in regards to that you want to touch on, Travis, of events or postseason play?
No, I'll get to it when we get to the slide that's a little bit later. But essentially, just kind of to jump ahead a little bit, spell out the idea that what Sean just explained would be coming from existing tournaments that are already in place across the current event organizations. And then essentially at the end, there will be a CFL championship, and that's where the berths would come from to get to the final stage, which we'll talk about later.
So one of the things we have is that we've gotten together is on interleague play. And so the way that we're going to define interleague play is when you play a team that's outside of the CFL. So if you're in Arizona and you play a team out of Texas that's within the Texas League, then that's considered interleague play. So Sean or Travis, because you guys are actually a part of this committee, I'll let you guys explain how what Alliance Power Points mean, how you earn them, and then what they mean overall.
Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, so for interleague play, the way that this is going to be utilized will be utilized for what will be the national championship events. So they won't point into your actual league during the season, but what they will do is they will accumulate throughout the year to where they give a kind of a body of work structure. So when teams are seeded for the national events, whether you're a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 championship level team, you'll have the ability. So for example, if you go to Colorado, when we all go to Colorado and we're playing teams from other leagues, these will be opportunities for you to earn those points. That way a committee will be able to view everybody's body of work, see their interleague games, as well as the points, of course, and their standings from their own leagues. So the point system works in regards to, if you're looking at it on screen here, 3 points for a win if the road team wins. So if my team was to go to Texas, which we are in November, and we play a Texas team and we happen to win that game, we are considered the road team because we are playing in Texas on their field. So we would get 3 points for that win. 2 points if I go there and I lose to a Texas team. The Texas team is the home team. They're going to get 2 points for their win as the home team. And then there's 1 point for a loss. The neutral ground, again, that's an example of Colorado or something of that nature, where we may end up playing, again, a Texas team, but we're playing in Colorado. That one it's 2 points for a win on neutral ground, and again, 1 point for a loss. And these will all accumulate out and kind of sit on the side of what each league will represent. And then once the bursts and all the teams are advanced into the national brackets, whether it's a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, this gives that committee the opportunity to evaluate kind of the quality of the team schedule and their opponents, and another way to really evaluate them. So when we get into a seeding process, it's as equitable as it can possibly be when we're looking at a national championship schedule, and we're not, getting a ping pong ball or flipping a coin and we end up with Stith playing Bandits in the first round like we had a few years back. So this allows us a competitive system that shows where we need to kind of slide everybody into a national championship seeding. Travis, anything else?
I think that was spot on, Sean. And I think you hit on too what just the importance of this and how cool that's going to be when we go into seeding. And I know the tournament will be played on one location, but getting that top seed is big, right? That's going to be important for your strength of schedule. So what this is doing, some teams want to stay at home. That's fine. Some teams want to travel, and maybe you want to travel for different reasons. Maybe your kids want to go out to college at a different location. We don't want to take away. We don't want you to have to go out and buy points. But we do want to reward teams that do travel and that do compete at these tournaments. And it should be a lot of fun too amongst the different leagues. So that all leads into, and this is one of the biggest questions that we get, right? And we haven't formally announced everything because there's a lot of details that go into it. And again, I hit on, when we make decisions based on the players, we have to factor in different things. Time of year, we're accounting for the entire country when we're looking at a national championship. So the Alliance Fast Pitch Championship Series, this is the culminating event. This is where, when you win your league, when you're a top performer in your league, all right, now how do I go and beat up on the other top performers of leagues? And so this is the culminating event. You have to qualify. The only way to get there is you have to qualify through your league play. So what we did is at the tier 1 level, there's 64 total berths from the 12 to 18 divisions. We have divided that out. With year 1, it's tough, right? Because we don't have a lot of body of work. But looking at how many teams per region and just kind of looking at some historical data as well. And the commissioners all got on calls, and I thought it was a very honest conversation. So the CFL has 16, I think, berths. And so those will be divided amongst your league. So from an alliance, we say, hey, you get this many. They go and add those to their league championship play. So once you get there, what's the format? We have 6 days, And really the last day is just that championship series. So the majority of teams will only be playing a 5-day championship event. So it starts with regionals, and this is what Sean was alluding to that'll help with seedings. We're going to look at how you finished in your league play as well as interleague play. If you make it out of your regional, you're going to play in a super regional format, which is you got to beat one other team, best 2 out of 3, into the Elite 8, and then the championship series will be a best 2 out of 3 series. So, Travis, are you ready for the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is kind of an overview, and I'll let Travis talk more about the specifics here.
Yeah, so you guys, you can see here, there's been a lot of talk about collaboration, mainly at the team level and at the coaches level. And I'll tell you that this last, 4 to 6 months has been pretty cool because it's also at the event coordinating level. We've talked to pretty much everybody that there is that has relevancy and can provide longevity for this structure, which is obviously the goal. And as you'll see in this list, we have currently 3 entities that have given us the permission to announce to the country, really, in a sense that we are going to be partnering with them, and we are going to be hosting national championships with them. The way this would work is we, again, the Alliance, are not event coordinators. So we're going to let the event coordinators do the event coordinating and do it to its best quality. You'll see that the goal is to have less national championships, right? To have you guys eventually be able to have less political pull and have, for one time a year, the top entities come together and provide what is best for the player, for the kids. And we're still going to compete as far as event companies, but this national championship concept, the Alliance Fast Pitch Championship Series, collaborate amongst the event coordinators. So you can see there the locations, the date range, the host. You'll see clearly there's a west, a central, an east. That does have the ability to change if it made a lot of sense from time to time as far as location. But that's where we're pretty much set right now, and the locations will stay, or the U-Trip and the Triple Crown and the USAs will kind of stay in their areas as far as East, West, and Central. However, you will see that the ages, they will rotate. The ages will rotate, so each event group will actually host a different age group each year.
Perfect. And what I get excited too is just thinking about that championship environment, right? Where you've earned your way there, and now we're going to play on top facilities, have great competition on the field, and roll everything out for those kids and give them a true championship experience. So that's what's fun when we get to collaborate with all the experts in the industry as well.
Yeah. And Jamie, I forgot, sorry. I want to say one more thing is the interesting thing in that is it is a true partnership with those groups and collaborating with those groups. But the Alliance is here for you guys as the coaches, and we want to hear your voices, So we will be able to have final say, I guess, if you will, in a sense, from the Alliance standpoint, just to make sure that within those national championships, certain things are for sure heard. And then spread across the board, right? Not just you guys being heard, let's say at USA, but not at U-Trip or vice versa. We'll be able to feed that information to all of those entities to make sure that it's more uniform across the board, if that makes sense.
Perfect. And I did, let me pull that back up. But I did at this point, I want to open it up to the CFL. If you guys have any more just info, as well as questions, if you've got specific registration questions, Tim, as your league administrator, is going to be that. And I apologize, Christina, I probably should have put your contact on there for the CFL if there's insurance questions, correct?
Christy Allen, which you guys have access to her, or myself, we're taking care of you guys. So I appreciate it. Keep the questions coming.
And then if anybody does have Alliance questions or feedback or wants to be involved, I think that's a key component too. If you want to be involved, I think there's a place for everybody, and just figuring out what is that lane. So an event host, a team, obviously a coach, an athlete, however you want to be involved, you're welcome to reach out. I put our info at thealliancefastpitch.com. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of us. So anything else from the CFL side that you guys want to touch on?
Yeah, I just wanted to, before we kind of close out, we did this polling, and I'm going to end the polling here and share the results. It's one of the things we want to do is be transparent, right? And so the way teams, they win bursts, the way we make decisions, the way we move together as a league is all about transparency. So I really love this idea of, taking these questions and really giving, real-time feedback. So you can see, are you interested in clinics, right? Pretty much two to one, 68% prefer online training. So the online training versus the pre-recorded seems to be the odds-on favorite there. And then this is pretty interesting to me. What areas of instruction interest you most? And this isn't to say that we're not going to get to all of them, but the one that came in, the hands down favorite here, was really college recruiting. And there's some really great content that we can provide around recruiting tools, tips, things of that nature as well. We're going to take that feedback, and I know we didn't get a chance to talk to it, but I'd ask Tony to maybe talk about in a second about coaches clinics and content, what we can provide. And then I'll just finish this out here. Interested in interviews with past players, industry experts, a ton of different things that we can do around there. And then this is fascinating. The teams that are planning on going out of state, 70%, one or two, 34%, one or two times, 13%, three or four, and then 6%. So that's a lot of teams. I know this is a representative sample that are looking to play. And what's important is that your out of state play means something. And that's what we wanted to do as CFLs, add that purpose of play. But I do want to circle back to Tony. Maybe you can talk just briefly about those other coaches clinics and content and those other things that we are talking about adding.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. So here's an example of where we want to go. So, talking about the realistic dilemmas that all of you have. So right now we're in California. It's like, well, then how in the heck do we show our players? And that recruiting topic being, the high percentage of the inquiry there. So how do we show our kids? We had a call on our national call in our organization last week, and someone mentioned how hard it is to show outfielders. All right, so write this down and remember this the best you can. How do you show an outfielder? What do we want to see outfielders do, right? And so we want to be in the pocket. We don't want to bore people. So a one bounce throw to a base, third base from right field, or one bounce throw to home from center field. But how about this? Think about the ultimate play that we always wanted growing up. Hey, Dad, throw me one that I can dive for, right? Throw me something I can lay it out for. So here's what I want you to think about. Put your pitching machine, unless you have a fungo master, put your pitching machine in the pitcher's circle and set up a fly ball, a high fly ball going towards straight center field. Get it up there, let it hang about 3 or 4 seconds. Put a cone in left field and have your players measure out from that cone in left field how many steps it is that it's going to take them to run to that fly ball coming off of that pitching machine. And let's say about 13 to 15 steps. So you've got a pitching machine in the circle. You put a fly ball to center field, so it's going to be the same fly ball every single time you pop a ball, and you don't have to worry about somebody hitting it. You put your group of outfielders in left field. You put your phone, your iPhone, on a tripod right behind second base, right where the dirt meets the grass, and you angle it so you're going to pick up that kid running 13 to 15 steps towards the ball. So hopefully you saw that. If you don't know what it's going to look like, I'm going to share my screen because we talked about this, and then our kids participated in a camp last week. And if you can see this little kid running right there. And this is exactly that play. And this took place not per our discussion. This took place at a camp where, I'm going to be honest with you, I need to get Mark Smith's phone number because the fungo hitter provided the hit for this kid. Now, if you look at the views, because we talk about recruiting, so that is 228,000 views in less than a week on the 13-step run, fly, and dive for the ball. You can all do this. You can put a pitching machine in the outfield. You can put a cone in left field. You can put a camera, because all you need to do is track this, and this thing is just blowing up. So that's an example of the types of insight that we want to be able to provide to all of you to empower and enable exactly what it is that you're trying to do for your families. That is real deal right there. And to me, it's kind of funny, the actual interest, the inquiries from a college coach. Hey, I heard about the kid that dove for the ball. You can all do this. Use a pitching machine if you don't have that ability to hit the ball like that. So that's an example of the type of dialogue. You can give us the topics, you can give us the position, you can give us a situation, try to stump us, see if we can help you, but we really want to pass on insight to help you empower your situations, to give you that advantage so that you're not working so hard to keep players in your team. And your players aren't leaving your team for all the wrong reasons. They're only leaving for the right reasons. So that's a little example. So give it a try.
Perfect. Yeah, I know we're about 8 minutes past here, and we've got a couple of questions in here that we haven't had a chance to get to. Does anybody want to take a quick stab at any of these real quick, or we can answer them in an email format and let everybody kind of get on with their night here?
What are a couple of them? Read them off real quick, Tim.
Let's see here. One of them was about the where the Alliance Championship will be played, right? And how much, so you can start budgeting for it.
Yeah, we went over that. So you saw the locations, the budgeting side. I can't give you an exact yet. We're still, it's different from area to area, state to state, facility to facility. But the goal is to keep it very, very affordable. I'll go out there and just say we are doing our best to keep it right around the 2,000 mark.
What about state of play?
State of play, we are doing our best as possible to soften that. That's for sure. Our goal would be obviously not to have it, but the reality is, in order to get the proper officials and make sure we're bringing in all the right guys, there has to be some sort of a lot of hotel rooms taken care of. So again, it won't be your typical state of play. That's all I can really say right now.
Perfect. And then timing for CFL championships.
Timing for what? CFL championships? Yeah, we're in a weird state. Again, we're in a weird state. So I'm assuming you're talking about how we're going to put together a league championship to divvy up the berths and
well, it's
make
really
sure
a date range for when that will happen. I think we talked about the Alliance timing in July. When would the CFL happens next year once we're back on the field?
Yeah. I'll answer it real quick in two forms. In the future, we would probably have a fall/winter opportunity to gain some, like a small amount of berths, and then the majority would come in the summer. The reality is probably in June is my guess that you'll see. And for the time being, obviously the fall is out because people aren't going to be able to travel to Arizona, which is the only place to play, at least in the masses and equally. So we will have it, I'm assuming, in June sometime. Most of the allocations, guys, for facilities, they are starting right now. So we should have those finalized soon.
Can I just add one thing on that, Travis, and for everybody? Just so everybody knows, we're trying to keep that the week after Colorado, keep Colorado as clean as possible for your recruiting needs. And that's what we're trying to work at. But as you know, doing these tournaments with these cities and what's going on has been very difficult to navigate. But our goal is to get that the week after Colorado, so you guys can do your thing. Colorado not be interfered with any championship play, but you can still get the recruiting side of things done. So that's our goal, but we'll see how the park situation plays out.
Good stuff. Well, thank you, everybody. I think we're over time here. Maybe I'm just partial because I'm on East Coast time, but I definitely appreciate everybody that's been a part of this, that clearly wants to learn more, has questions, great questions here too. I know you guys are in a little bit different situation, but the key thing is value, right? And we're going to continue to deliver that. And you've got a group of faces right here that wants to hear from you and that will be responsive and wants to work with you. So I thank you to our panelists. So they don't hear my voice. Tony, do you wanna close it out here, and we'll say goodnight after that?
Change is a coming, people. So there's 3 levels: the bridge builders, the people that cross it first, and the people want to make sure they're not going to be on a collapsing bridge. So we appreciate all of you that have made that move. We are working our hardest to just, again, serve you and make an experience that it might feel a little weird for you to actually, like we say, we care about you, we appreciate you, we respect you, and we want to hear you. Even for myself, it sounds funny saying that, and the ability to say that, and being a coach for 3 decades. So we're looking forward to working with all of you and appreciate your time tonight.